Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite expandable backpacks. And this is a category that seems to have grown a lot over the past couple of years as people continue to try to find that one bag that can work for pretty much any situation. So something that you can compress down to use for your day-to-day and then expand out when you want to travel with it. And it's always tough to find something that's going to be perfect for all of those use cases, but I think that a lot of the options that I'm going to be talking about here strike a good balance. Some are a little more travel focused and some are a little more EDC focused. And so hopefully there's at least some options to get you started if you're in the market for something that's in the expandable category. So excited to dive in. Before doing so, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Unbound Merino. They make some of my favorite travel apparel. I'm going to talk more about them in a minute. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Thule has a variety of really solid tech and everyday bags, including this expandable Aeon backpack. It has an interesting aesthetic due to the tote bag handles that it has at the top. And it still has Thule's kind of modern techie styling, and it comes in at 28 liters, which is a really great all-purpose size. It has the ability to expand out to 32 liters, feels solidly built. You have a polyester canvas material, which is interesting, smooth working zippers. You have carrying handle on the side in addition to the top handles. And you have an external water bottle pocket, which will be able to handle my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler. So good amount of elasticity and space there. And on the back, you have a comfortable harness system, good breathability and padding here. Sternum strap that's adjustable, removable. You have good padding on the back. Same type of breathability, elevation here, a luggage pass-through so that you can rest this on your suitcase. And then you have a compartment here at the top that's going to be a good spot for a passport, a wallet. On the other side, you have a couple of attachment points if you want to clip something on with a carabiner. This is meant to be compatible, I believe, with Thule's sling bag that's part of this same collection. And then you have an admin kind of quick access pocket here on the top, so a nice amount of space to drop in items like some sunglasses with their case. And on the back, you have some internal organization. This is a more kind of padded pocket here. It'd be a good spot for a phone. I just have my charging cable there. You have a slip pocket where I have a portable battery, larger one on the back, a couple of slots for a pen, stylus. Here you have a little lanyard with a clip. You have a zippered pocket on the lid where I have some more tech accessories, AirPods, mouse. And then you have the primary storage compartment, which offers, when it's compressed down, enough space for my normal packing cube loadout. So here I have the smaller Peak Design compressible packing cube. I have my extra pair of shoes, and then I have the medium compressible packing cube. On the inside, you can get a better look. So pretty open layout here. And you do have the ability, again, to expand this out to 32 liters. So it has this zipper that goes around, and then you get that extra space there, so I could toss in, my packing cubes, get an additional cube in there, some extra pouches, so always nice to have that flexibility. And then on the back of the bag, you have a dedicated laptop compartment, and this actually opens up flat. Move some of these things from out of the way. And you have a dedicated tablet and laptop sleeve, and these offer a nice amount of padding. As far as the sleeves themselves, I like that there's actually a dedicated tablet sleeve, and then the laptop sleeve is gonna be able to hold a 14 or 15-inch laptop very comfortably, 16-inch or two, plenty of leftover space. But one thing that I noticed is that it's not really suspended off the bottom of the ground, so that's something I would have liked to have seen just pulled up a little bit. On the front here, you have a zippered compartment that has enough volume for laptop chargers and things like that. Here I have my USB hub, and that fits in there without any issue. And then on the other side, you have this interesting compartment that seems like a great spot for toiletries or anything that's maybe dirty or a little bit wet. This material feels very weather resistant. This is also a divider for the main compartment. So this is a pretty interesting idea. If you have this opened up to kind of this laptop area, you can still access the main area from this section by pulling this divider down. You can use this compartment again to store toiletries or other things you want to keep a little bit more protected. And you have the ability to actually roll this up and store it if you prefer to just have one larger main compartment for your bag, tucks away there, and then you have this snap closure here if you want to, just kind of simplify the layout. If you don't want to use that pocket, for your day-to-day, then you should be good to go. And so a pretty interesting layout overall. I like the flexibility and the organization that's been included. And if you're a fan of Thule's products, if you're looking for something that can work well as a daily bag, then this is gonna be a really cool option to take a look at. Regardless of the type of bag that you're using, one of the most important things, whether you're traveling or for your day-to-day, is the type of clothing that you're gonna be wearing. I'm always a fan of building out a capsule wardrobe where everything mixes and matches together, looks good, and it's also gonna be comfortable and durable. And each of these areas is where the sponsor of today's video, Unbound Merino, really excels. I've been a big fan of their pants and shirts for a number of years now. They've been fantastic for being able to travel more minimally. They use merino wool, which is gonna be very durable, and also allow you to wear clothes for a longer period of time without having to wash them. If you do wash them, they dry quickly, they're wrinkle resistant, and they're also temperature regulating. So if it's a little hotter, they're gonna help keep you cooler, and if it's a colder climate, they're gonna help keep the heat on the inside. And then they also just have a great variety of clothing. They have button-down shirts, polo shirts, t-shirts, shorts, pants, so they have you covered regardless of the situation that you're gonna be going to if you need something a little bit dressier or a little bit more casual. So make sure to check out the links that I've included in the description below to see some of my favorites, and if you're looking to build out a more versatile capsule wardrobe, make sure to check out Unbound Merino. The Nomatic travel pack was really the first expandable bag that I fell in love with, and although I haven't talked about it as much over the past couple of years, I've never forgotten how functional it was. It's now offered in a couple of different sizes. The version that I have here is the 20-liter size, which I always enjoyed using. It's a great daily size, and then it can expand out to 30 liters, I believe, so a really solid minimal travel bag. I've actually traveled to several work events with this as the only bag that I've taken with me, and it worked out really, really well. And the exterior fabric continues to be very rugged, weather resistant. You have aqua guarded zippers that were upgraded with the new addition of the bag. And then on the exterior, you have tons of useful functionality, some nice handles that have kind of the seatbelt-like material on the sides. You have one on each side, and then you have a well-padded handle at the top, and dual external water bottle pockets, which have an interesting system that has always been very useful as far as handling a bigger water bottle. So you have the magnetic flaps that keep them closed against the bag when they're not in use. And then there is a lot of elasticity, so my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler is able to fit in there. The bag, of course, gets a funky look when you're using both of them, but you can't deny the space that it offers. And so that works out well. And because of the more rigid materials of the bag, it manages to stand up pretty consistently on its own. And I'm a big fan of the harness systems that Nomatic has. You have well-padded straps with a nice amount of breathability, good width on the straps, sternum strap. They do have the ability to add a waist strap, which is not included with the bag anymore. When I bought it back in the day, the waist strap was included, but I never really used it with this size of bag. Good padding on the back panel. It's well distributed all throughout, really soft, almost gel-like, and you also have a luggage pass-through so that you can rest this on your suitcase. There's a secret pocket for something that's gonna be a little bit more delicate, and then you can hide the straps away. They have these snaps here that allow you to tuck them away when you don't wanna use them. And the layout on this bag was always something that really impressed me as far as the organization. You have quick access pocket at the top. It's got a soft lining, so great for something a little bit more delicate. I have my AirPods and my Apple Magic Mouse. And then you have a lockable admin compartment on the front. And this has a nice wide opening with a gusset, so you can rest it standing up and grab whatever you need. And so here you have an RFID protected pocket on the lid that's also lockable, so great spot for a passport, wallet. I just have a field notes notebook in there. You have enough space here to rest a couple of items on the bottom. I have a packable tote bag, my sunglasses. You have some additional slip pockets, a zippered pocket here, and then a few slots for a pen, stylus. And on the other side, we have a plastic slip pockets, larger slip pocket for a notebook, and then I have my USB hub. I have the charging cables for that hub resting on the bottom here. All that fits comfortably. And then on the back wall, you have the slip pockets. I'll lay this down so you can have a better look. So you have the 4 slip pockets with a nice amount of elasticity. They are a little bit more shallow, but you know, great for the types of small items that I'm normally needing maybe a pouch for. So great to have individual slots for them there. And then on the back, you have a dedicated laptop and tablet area. This is also lockable, and so this opens up so that you can easily get to your device. You have a dedicated tablet sleeve, and I like that both of these are properly suspended off the bottom of the ground. You have a nice gap there, and then plenty of space for a full-size tablet if you want. I have my iPad mini, and nice soft lining on the inside. Same for the laptop sleeve. Good amount of padding, soft lining on both sides, suspended, and more than enough space for a 15 or 16-inch laptop. So really great protection in this area. And then moving into the main compartment, you have first up the clamshell style opening so that you can easily see everything. If you're using this as a daily bag, this is a really helpful layout. At the moment, I have just some packing cube loadout in here, dop kit, 1 compressible packing cube from Peak Design, and then on the inside here you have more slip pockets so that you can organize your stuff. Nomatic still includes this hard shell case for your sunglasses, which you can remove, and a little retractable lanyard here that's going to be great for your keys. And on the lid you have some additional organization here, a couple of zippered elastic pockets which are really nice, and then there is a pass-through for a charger from that quick access area. And the expansion zipper allows you to get some additional capacity here, so that comes all the way around and it gives you that extra volume. And the layout here allows that section, once it's expanded, to actually open up like a suitcase. So I'm gonna zip this up just so that I can maneuver the bag a little bit better. And then you have the zipper here, again, lockable. And you can open this up to access this additional pocket on the back. This zipper divider gives you access to the main area, and that expansion is on this back compartment. So if you know, it's good to have the separation. You can use this section on the front for anything. You know, it doesn't have to be for everyday items. You can put a packing cube in there as well, but great to have the separation here so that you can access your travel and clothing stuff, take it out when you arrive at your destination and compress the bag down. And so when you expand it, you now have the ability to add some additional items. You can use this slip pocket here for maybe an extra pair of shoes. That's where I'd probably put my Toms. And then you can fit the Peak Design compressible packing cube that I had here, the dop kit, and then an additional packing cube, some extra, you know, pouches or anything that you might need. And so, yeah, that versatility was always what really made the Nomatic travel pack stand out to me. Great to see that it continues to hold up after all these years, and that Nomatic has made some updates, offered the new colors and sizes. And so if you just want something that is going to give you a ton of functionality, it's going to be highly weather resistant, and this is going to be one of the best options to take a look at. Knack has a variety of expandable options that are meant to enable a one-bag life. I'm a big fan of the Series 2 Knack pack and the expandable duffel, but recently I have found myself coming back to the Series 1 most regularly, as I just really like the layout and the aesthetic. This has, you know, a more kind of modern professional aesthetic, I would say. This is something that I've always enjoyed using for work travel. It feels like it just blends in well into a professional setting with a nicer outfit. And then this is the medium size of the bag. It's offered in a small and a large version, but this is the one that I think works well for my everyday, while also expanding to allow me to use it for minimal travel quite comfortably. And then the material here is going to offer a nice amount of durability. You have YKK zippers, custom zipper pulls from Knack. You have a handle at the top that's well padded, and the harness system is going to offer a nice amount of comfort. The straps offer breathability. They have a good amount of padding. They're a little less rigid than some of the other bags on this list, but they're meant to be able to be hidden away. So you have these great clips here at the bottom that you can use to store the straps when you want to have kind of a more streamlined look. Good padding on the back. It's almost a gel-like padding, and you have a good bit of elevation here. And so it's been comfortable to wear for my day-to-day and when I've needed to as it's packed out. You also have a luggage pass-through here that will allow you to rest this on your suitcase. And the layout is something that I really love. There's plenty of organizational options, and this is, what really allows this to work well as a daily bag. So you have quick access pocket at the bottom that has a couple of elastic bands for, dongles or cables. And I like the amount of space that's offered here. This can work to hold a laptop charger or something like that. I currently have the Evergood Civic Access Pouch 1/2 liter. And then you have a pocket on the side that can work to hold a water bottle. And so you have this elastic mesh here. You can actually place your water bottle in there. You can close it or you can leave it open. But I like that because this is zippered, it actually allows you to hold other things. So here I have my USB-C hub with its cables, and then the 26-ounce Yeti Rambler. It's able to fit in there. And this does take up some space from the main area, so I have it pretty packed out at the moment. But you can see here that it would still be able to hold it. I could pull it out easily. If I had a smaller water bottle, I could actually zip it closed. And so I like the versatility there. You have great quick access pockets, one at the top with a soft lining for anything more delicate. Got a little divider here in the middle to separate out some of the more sensitive items. If I wanted to place my AirPods in there, maybe my phone while going through TSA, and then enough space for my sunglasses with their case. And down at the bottom, you have this, very distinctive quick access pocket here. I know some people have concerns about the security, but for the most part, I don't put anything super sensitive in there. And I do like the internal organization and space that's offered. And so a couple of slots for business cards, other smaller items. You have a slip pocket on the back. I just have a headlamp in here at the moment and a portable battery. On the side, you have a dedicated laptop compartment that'll be able to handle a 15 or 16-inch laptop. Here I have 14-inch MacBook Pro. You can see there's some leftover space here. You have some padding. It's not as robust as some of the other laptop compartments that I like to use, but still gets the job done and allows you to get to your device pretty quickly for your day-to-day or while you're traveling. It's oriented the same as the luggage pass-through, which is nice. And then for the main compartment, which I would say is kind of the main EDC area, you have this opening that has the gussets to prevent it from fully clamshelling, but nice amount of visibility, particularly with the liner that Knack has on the inside to give you a nice amount of contrast. And so I have a variety of my typical sort of pouches in here: Alpaca admin pouch, packable tote bag, my Beats Studio wireless headphones, Lockbee tech pouch. I have the Evergood Civic Access Pouch 1 liter, and I also have the 2 liter here at the bottom. And so all of these things were packed in there while the bag is still compressed down. So it's still, not as big as it could potentially get. On the back, you have some additional organization, zippered pocket here, a little lanyard with a clip for your keys. I like that this is actually removable. You have a zippered pocket on the lid. Good spot for a variety of items. I just have a Field Notes notebook in there right now. And then where this bag really starts to shine is in the fact that you have this additional expandable section. And so you have the zipper that goes all the way around. It's kind of hidden away under the flap here. So I like that that maintains a more kind of streamlined appearance until it's time to actually use it. And so going all the way around, and you have what is essentially a suitcase compartment. And I like that this is lockable and it opens up so that you can pack out your travel items here. So you could actually place, a packing cube, a dop kit, and I still would have had the space for the items on the front. And so this expands the bag to above 30 liters. And you also have the ability to compress this down with this flap and clip here. And you have an additional zippered mesh pocket on the other side to provide you some separation. And so really great layout and flexibility provided by having this kind of separate travel section and then the other area for you to store the things that you're accessing. Once you arrive at your destination, you can zip the bag up and you're ready to go. So this has long been one of the expandable options that I've felt is most versatile and does a great job of balancing the day-to-day usage with the travel usage. And if you're looking for something stylish with nice amount of organization, this is gonna be a great option to consider. The Fyro T22 backpack is a really versatile bag that's gonna work great as a travel companion or for everyday carry. It's got a rugged exterior fabric that's gonna offer a nice amount of weather resistance. It comes in at about 22 liters, which is a really great daily bag size, but it also has the ability to expand out to 26 liters for when you need extra space or if you wanna use this for minimal travel. So I really like the flexibility that provides, and again, makes it more multi-purpose and adaptable to a variety of situations. And then you just have a really interesting feature set here. On the exterior, you have the ability to add and remove water bottle pockets if that's something that you like to use. And then you have a really comfortable harness system on the back. I've been very impressed with the padding that's been used here. It just feels very, very soft, almost gel-like, but supportive. And then you have a good width on the straps, a sternum strap with a magnetic buckle, which I'm always a fan of. And then the back panel also feels fantastic. Same sort of padding to what we saw on the straps. You know, well distributed. You have some elevation to provide you with airflow, and then a luggage pass-through that is vertically oriented, which is always super helpful for travel. Really, really like that. And then beyond that, you have the very useful organizational layout, the hatch system, which is one of the most unique aspects of the bag. So you can access this pocket from the top. You can secure it if you don't want anybody getting in there, and then you have visibility and a large opening along the front so that you can reach this internal organization. You have a zippered pocket here with a nice mesh for smaller items, two larger slip pockets. I have my sunglasses in here. You have a little lanyard with a clip for your keys. And then I really like the magnets here. Works very smoothly. And then you have a dedicated laptop compartment. I really like how these zipper pulls were designed to snap around these attachment points to give you just a little bit more theft deterrence. Well-protected zipper. And then this laptop compartment feels fantastic. Just super, super luxurious feeling. Perfect spot for your device. You have a sleeve on the front where you can place an extra, tablet or documents, and then this is gonna be well padded. You have this really nice material on the back. It almost feels leather-like or something like that. And then this will be able to handle 15 or 16-inch laptop. Currently I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro, and it just slides in there so smoothly. Very easy to get to your device when you need to. And then for the main compartment, you have the zippers that go all the way down. It's not a clamshell style bag. You have the gussets that prevent this from allowing everything to spill out. I actually really like this layout. It provides enough visibility into the bag when you need to. And then with the 22 liters of capacity, it can hold, the same items that I typically have with me: headphones, variety of pouches, a jacket. And on the lid, you have additional organization for cables and other accessories. Nice elastic material here. On the back, you have some extra slip pockets. So I really like the options that have been provided. It doesn't go overboard, but it just gives you the right amount to be able to get to your stuff without having to search all throughout this main area. So really, really have enjoyed the Fyro backpack so far. Really love the versatility. It feels solidly built. And if you're looking for a work travel companion, this is gonna be a really great option to take a look at. Peak Design actually has two great expandable travel backpacks. Here I have their smaller 30-liter version. This is the special edition that was done as a collaboration with Huckberry that has the Coyote colorway and X-Pack fabric. But regardless of the fabric that you get it in, this bag is gonna offer a really sleek style, excellent build quality with weather-resistant materials. And then the capacity is gonna be about 27 liters when it's compressed down, and then it expands out a little bit past 30, I believe. So, a really interesting carry-on friendly size. It can work for your day-to-day, particularly when it's compressed. And then along the exterior, you have a really functional layout with the dual external water bottle pockets. It'll offer enough space for my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler. And then of course you could pair it with something like Peak Design's travel tripod. You have attachment points on the front that allow you to configure these straps that Peak Design includes with the bag to hold a variety of different items. You have some good handles on the sides, at the top, you have a handle on the bottom, so lots of different ways to, organize and manipulate the bag when you need to. And then as far as the harness system, this has been comfortable to wear. Peak Design straps aren't quite as robust as what I normally like to use, but they get the job done. And so you're gonna have padding here, and you have a sternum strap that you can adjust. That's got this interesting sort of aluminum hook here, which works well. You have the hinged straps, padding on the back, luggage pass-through. And then as far as the layout, you have a quick access pocket
that's gonna offer, you know, a nice amount of space. It's near the top, so it's easy to reach when you need to. I have my sunglasses resting in there. You have a couple of slip pockets on the back that have a nice elastic material. I have my mouse in there, a flashlight, charging cable. So the typical things that I'm using a lot while I'm on the go. And then you have a zippered pocket on the front that'll be great for smaller accessories like headphones, pens, stylus. I also have some small slots for something like a memory card or extra batteries for your camera. And this does have a clamshell style opening. So you have to rest the bag on its front to be able to access this. And this is meant to pair with Peak Design's ecosystem of camera accessories. And so opening this up, you have a padded laptop sleeve on the back, which is pulled up. It's gonna offer a nice amount of padding, plenty of space for a larger laptop. I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro that fits in there comfortably. And on the front, you have a little slip pocket to separate out a tablet. And on the main area, you have a large bucket of space here. And so this is with the bag compressed down. So again, about 27 liters of capacity. And because of the simple layout that this offers, is able to hold an impressive amount even when it's not expanded. So here I have a minimal travel loadout, an extra pair of shoes, and a packing cube. And I have Peak Design's packing cubes here, the small compressible cube and the medium size, and all of that fit in there easily. On the inside, you have some additional organization, a couple of zippered mesh pockets on the sides, and then a couple on the front. I don't normally use these too much because they're kind of hard to get to unless you take everything out, so just kind of leave them. And then you also have attachment points along the side that are meant to pair again with Peak Design's ecosystem of items. And you have on the expandable front, the zipper that goes all the way around here to give you that extra space when you need it. So bringing it about 30 liters, a little bit over 30 liters. And then with the items that I had in there, it'll just expand out a little bit more to give me that extra space if I wanted to toss in, you know, an additional pair of shoes, another pouch if I wanted to. Here I have another Peak Design pouch, an extra dop kit. I could put another larger packing cube along the top. So the expandability just gives you that extra flexibility for, you know, whatever trip you're gonna be doing. So although both of their travel bag options are gonna be great for this video, I chose to go with the 30-liter size, and if you're looking for something sleek and versatile, this is gonna be a great option to consider. The Almond Oak Expandable Travel Backpack launched on Kickstarter earlier this year and has been one of the most interesting new options on the market. It has a minimal, simple style, and one of the main focuses on the bag was keeping it lightweight. So you have this super light nylon exterior that helps really maintain the bag at a weight that will be carry-on friendly for a variety of domestic and international airlines. So that's super helpful as airlines are getting stricter. You know, it also offers a nice amount of weather resistance. It feels a little thinner than many of the other fabrics on this list, which is always the trade-off with keeping things lighter. And then you still have, you know, very smooth working, reliable zippers. You have handle at the top. On the side, you have an external water bottle pocket that can handle a variety of size water bottles. Even something like my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler is able to fit in there pretty comfortably. It's kind of tight, but 26 ounces or below should be okay. And this bag comes in at 25 liters about when it's not expanded, and then it expands to around 30 liters. And so at that 25 liter size, this will be a great, you know, everyday carry bag. It can work as a personal item. And then when you expand out, it's still carry-on friendly. It's not gonna look super bulky. So I really like the versatility, particularly with how the materials kind of mold around everything that's on the inside. And then on the back, you have, you know, pretty comfortable straps and back panel. Good amount of padding. Again, you have some trade-offs here with the weight, but it still feels pretty comfortable. You have a sternum strap with a really cool magnetic buckle. And then on the back, good padding here as well. You have a luggage pass-through that's vertically oriented, so you can rest this on your suitcase, access your laptop, and then the layout is fairly simple. You have a zippered pocket on the front that is a little taller, and that'll be able to handle, you know, the types of bulkier items that I normally grab most regularly, sunglasses, charging cables. The layout changed here a bit from the pre-production unit that I have, but you still have this pocket in general. Then you have a pocket on the side that could be a good spot for your phone, or in my case, I'm actually using this to hold a portable battery. And you have a dedicated laptop compartment, which is one of the things that I really like about this bag, is that it's separate from the main area, so I can easily access my devices while I'm going through security. You have a dedicated tablet and laptop sleeve They are suspended, and they also have this soft lining on the back. So I like that that area was prioritized, even though the bag is lighter. And then you have a zippered mesh compartment here, great for other tech items, charging cables, headphones, a mouse. And you have the main compartment, which opens up suitcase style for easy packing and, you know, really large open space here. I have my Peak design packing cubes. I have the small one, I have the medium one, and then you have a zippered mesh pocket on the lid where I currently have the extra pair of shoes in a packing cube. And so impressive that this can hold all of this and it's not expanded yet. So to take it to 30 liters, you have the zipper that you can release here to give you that extra capacity. And so this is where the bag starts to get a little bit larger, but you now have the flexibility to store a packing cube, an extra dop kit or pouch if you want to. So here I have another compressible packing cube, another pouch, those fit in there, and then everything compresses down, and it still really doesn't look that big. So I really love the versatility of the size that's been provided here and the focus on creating something that was going to work well as a personal item on so many different airlines. The Black Ember Forge is a hybrid bag that not only expands, but it can be used as a backpack, a briefcase, or a shoulder bag. This has Black Ember's typical, you know, really techie, modern styling, solid materials, highly weather resistant. These are some of the most weather resistant bags. I absolutely love how well protected the zippers are. And then you have, you know, really nice kind of aluminum hardware all throughout for the attachment points on these handles. You can remove the handles if you want to. There's also a variety of straps that are sold from Black Ember if you want to add some additional functionality to the bag. These work great when you're using the bag in briefcase mode. They have this attachment point to kind of keep the handles together. You have a nice amount of distance. You can open the bag up. You also have handle at the top if you know you're using this as a backpack. And so just a nice variety of functionality on the exterior. No water bottle pockets on this one by default. And then, you know, you have a pretty nice capacity here. When it's compressed down, it comes in at about 20 liters-ish, and that can be a little large maybe as a briefcase or a shoulder bag for some people. You know, it works well as a backpack. I think that, you know, it strikes a good balance. It still gives you a lot of capacity, and then you can expand it out and it'll give you quite a bit more space for minimal travel. So I really like the flexibility there. And on the back, you have the ability to hide the backpack straps away. You can see here the back panel, it's well padded, good elevation here. You have a luggage pass through, but you can quickly transform this into a backpack. I'm a big fan of Black Ember straps, good padding and breathability here. You have the load lifters, and then when you want to hide the straps away, I always think that this system is super quick and easy. And as far as the organization, you have a great quick access pocket on the front. And I really like how much volume this provides, so you can store a variety of pouches and other bulkier things if you need to. And you do have some internal organization as well. So I have a packable tote bag in here. And then these elastic slip pockets have enough space for items like my sunglasses, portable battery. I have a charging cable in there as well. And on this one on the end, I have the headlamp and my AirPods. You also have this magnetic detachable keychain solution, and you have a couple of additional slots at the top for pen, stylus, and then one pocket that'll be great for something like a, you know, portable hard drive. I have my mouse in there. And on the back, you have a dedicated laptop compartment. So this again has super well protected zipper, and this is oriented the same as the luggage pass-through, so easy to grab this while you're going through TSA. You have a dedicated laptop and tablet sleeve. These are nicely padded. They're also pulled up off the bottom of the ground. You have a Velcro strap here that can keep everything in place if you want a little bit more peace of mind, particularly when you're wearing this as a backpack. And then for the main compartment, this opens up like a suitcase, so you have full visibility into this main area. On the lid, you have some organization, some slip pockets here. This can hold my iPad mini, great for a Kindle, a notebook. You have two of these. You have a larger pocket here that'll be great for documents, folders, and then zippered mesh pockets where I currently have my field notes, and on the other side, my USB-C hub and charging cable. So a lot of flexibility provided in these. on the other side for the main compartment. You have an additional zippered mesh pocket and then a divider for any of the other things that you're gonna be storing. This is compressed down still, so I have Peak Design compressible packing cube, DOP kit, but this is an expandable bag, so it has the zipper that goes around to give you that extra capacity. You can see it comes up quite a bit when you expand it out, and so I'll leave that packing cube in there, and I can actually replace it with the other Peak Design packing cube, which now fits more comfortably. I can throw the DOP kit in there. I can throw an additional cube if I want to, and so this now becomes a pretty robust, minimal travel, carry-on friendly bag. When it's expanded, this is something that will likely have to go into an overhead storage compartment, but it will work. Then you can compress it down and you still have access to the rest of the compartments. And so really love the versatility provided by this bag. And you know, if you're somebody who's looking for something that's highly weather resistant, stylish, and that's gonna, you know, offer the ability to be used as a briefcase or shoulder bag, then this is gonna be an excellent option to keep in mind. The Solgaard Endeavor backpack does a pretty great job walking the travel and everyday line. You have a modern, techie aesthetic, solid materials here. This is made out of recycled ocean plastics. And on the exterior, you have dual water bottle pockets. These are able to handle my 20-ounce water bottle pretty comfortably. 26-ounce starts to get a little bit tight, but nice to have one of those on each side and that there's some elasticity there. You have attachment points along the exterior. Great handle at the top and on one of the sides, so you have some different ways that you can carry this. I really like how reinforced this feels. You have the magnet at the top that helps keep the handle close to the bag, which is a really cool touch. And then this is offered in 2 different sizes. I have the larger size here, so when it's compressed down, it comes in at about 20 liters or so, and you know, it has a little bit of a boxier shape, so even when it's emptier, it still kind of retains its structure, but it still, you know, has a streamlined enough profile that it works well for my day-to-day. And then it can expand out quite a bit. When it's expanded, it can start to look a little bit funky when you pack it out all the way, but it gets the job done as far as, you know, going onto a flight, placing it into an overhead storage compartment, and then allowing you to get to your hotel. And the harness system on this one is going to be pretty comfortable. I really like how the straps have been implemented here, plenty of breathability, padding, same thing for the back, well distributed all throughout, good bit of elevation. You have a luggage passenger that will allow you to rest this on your suitcase. I like the vertical orientation here. And then you have 2 hidden zippered pockets that are gonna be great for, you know, passports, some extra cash, a slimmer wallet. So great to have those security features. On the straps, you also have a sternum strap and a slot that's gonna be great for a transit card or something that you're grabbing most regularly. Little loop here to hang your sunglasses or clip something else on. And the organizational layout on this is really solid. You have a quick access pocket on the front. It's a little bit taller. It extends down the front face of the bag. And so here I just tossed in a couple of items, headlamp, packable tote bag. I also have my sunglasses with their case. Because of the height here, you can use this to store other pouches and things like that. But because of the stuff that I have in the main area, it all starts to get a little tight. So that's something you want to keep in mind. And then you have a great quick access pocket here at the top. Got a nice soft lining so you can place your sunglasses or phone in here and, you know, protect it from scratches. I use this for my charging cable and my AirPods since I'm grabbing those quite a bit. And then on the back, you have what is called the work zone. And so this is the tech area where you have some good organization for your accessories and a dedicated tablet and laptop sleeve. So I'll start with the laptop and tablet sleeves. I like that you have a dedicated space for each. Good padding on these. Not as suspended off the bottom as I would like. They're a little bit close to the bottom, but you know, it still feels like you have some protection for the tablet. I have my iPad mini, can hold a larger tablet for sure. And then on the back, I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro. You can see there's plenty of leftover space here. I like the soft lining on the back of that compartment as well. And then on the front, this doesn't open up fully flat, so it can be a little bit tough to see, but you have a zipper down at the bottom, zipper pocket. This is a mesh compartment that does have enough space to hold my charging cables and my USB-C hub. And then I'll flip the bag so you can get a better look at this side. You have a little lanyard with a clip for your keys. Some elastic bands for dongles, pen stylus, other tools. You have a couple of slip pockets. I like that these also have that soft lining. You have a padded one here in the middle. It's a little bit thicker and will be able to handle your phone. I have a portable battery there. On the other side, another slip pocket where I just have my mouse. And then some additional slots for other pen styluses. Here's that pair of scissors I've been featuring in some videos, and a small slip pocket where I could have placed my AirPods if I wanted to. And then moving into the primary compartment, otherwise known as the life zone, you have a clamshell style opening here. And with the bag compressed down, I was able to store my typical setup. So extra pair of shoes, compressible packing cubes, small and medium size here. And these fit in here pretty comfortably. Large open space also works well for EDC items. And then you do have the ability, as you can see, to expand this quite a bit. This fabric here is from that section that is compressed down. And so this expands out to give you quite a bit more packing space for when you're wanting to use this for minimal travel. And in addition to allowing you to hold, a ton of extra stuff, let me put these packing cubes back in here. You can see that the height and the depth gets quite a bit larger. And so I can put another dop kit and an additional packing cube and still have full usage of all the other sections of the bag. So that is great regardless of your travel setup. But Solgaard is also known for their hanging closet system that is included with the bag. So you can hang this up and you have a very easy way to pack and unpack. This is a really interesting idea. I don't end up using this too much because I'm so used to traveling with my packing cubes, but definitely an interesting thing to kind of test out because it can be super convenient to just have one place to not only unpack but store your clothes. And so really like the flexibility provided there. And then you have just a couple of additional zippered pockets on the lid. So Solgaard's bags have been some that I've used for a while now. I've always loved the flexibility that the expansion provides, and then just how well thought out the layout and the aesthetics are for a ton of different use cases. The Timbuk2 Nevercheck expandable backpack has been around for a couple of years now, and I'm always impressed with how well it continues to hold up. It's got a really interesting aesthetic. It feels modern and techy, but it has a little bit of a rugged vibe with the compression straps here on the side, the G-hooks. And so I think that it looks nice enough to take into an office setting, but it's just gonna blend in to a lot of different use cases. And the sizing on this one is one of the options that I think still works, particularly well as a daily carry bag. It's not quite that big, but it does expand to give you the extra capacity. So something that's carry-on friendly. And then you have handles along the exterior, one on the side, one at the top, a couple of attachment points that you can combine with a carabiner, a hero clip. You have an external water bottle pocket that's gonna give you a pretty good amount of capacity. It can expand. It's a little bit of a tighter fit for my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler. We'll definitely be able to handle a 20-ounce water bottle comfortably. And I have this loaded out pretty fully, so great to have that expand outwardly. When it's not in use, it kind of just hugs the bag. And then you have a comfortable harness system, so you can wear this for a longer time without any issues. Good padding here. On the straps, you have an adjustable sternum strap. You have, good breathability on the back, plenty of padding, no luggage pass through here, which would be nice to have. And then as far as the layout, you have nice quick access pocket on the front, zippered area here where I currently have my sunglasses. And then you have an interesting pocket that has a zipper that you have to move the compression straps here. You can use these to maybe hold a jacket or some other accessories, and because of the G-hooks here, they're pretty easy to get on and off. But if you open those up, you can access this area here, which works well whether you're standing this up, if you're holding it from the side. You have a good amount of space here to just toss in an extra pouch, any things that you're grabbing, and then you have some slip pockets on the lid. I have my AirPods here in this one, but you do have a slot for a pen. And on this side, I currently have a charging cable, and then I have my mouse. So nice to have a couple of different options to organize. And then you have an external laptop compartment that's suspended, and this will be able to handle my 14-inch MacBook Pro comfortably. And so easy to get it in and out when you need to. And for the main compartment, you have the zippers that go all the way down. This isn't necessarily clamshell opening. It does, have these gussets to prevent the bag from spilling open. And you have a zippered pocket on the lid that's gonna have a good amount of volume. I have my USB-C hub and charging cables here. And then with the capacity. When it's compressed down, it is still compressed. You have, you know, the capacity for my extra pair of shoes. Dop kit, I have the larger Peak Design compressible packing cube. I suppose I could have tossed in the medium one, and it should still fit pretty well even when the bag is compressed. You have a slip pocket on the front, and then you have the zipper that you can loosen up here to expand the bag and give you that extra capacity when you need to. So that pops out there, and now I can put my Dop kit in, and I still have some extra space for another packing cube if I wanted to. And so I like that this expands. It gives you that extra space, but it's still not, you know, a crazy big bag even when expanded. So if you're looking for, you know, a tech-focused modern bag that, you know, is going to give you lots of flexibility and, you know, it's just going to hold up, and this is going to be a great option to consider. Although I'm not a huge fan of roll top bags, I did feel that it would be good to include one roll top option given the expandable and flexible nature of many roll top bags. And the one that I have come back to most consistently is the Wandrd Prvke. I've been a big fan of the ruggedness of this bag when I have to carry some additional camera gear. And so the aesthetic on this is definitely more kind of adventurous and outdoorsy. You have, you know, compression straps. The roll top, you know, just on its own feels a little bit more technical. And then you have the tarpaulin-like exterior that's gonna offer a lot of weather resistance. You have the well-protected zipper. So it's a bag that feels like it's gonna hold up well to all sorts of usage in many different environments in the outdoors. And then you have, as I was mentioning, compression straps on the side, so you can pair that with, you know, a tripod. You have a external water bottle pocket that offers a nice amount of capacity. It could definitely fit a variety of different size water bottles there, or again, you can put your tripod in. You have the ability to zip this away when it's not in use, which is nice. And then one of the distinctive features of the Prvke is the tote handles that it has at the top. That's part of the aesthetic I'm not crazy about, as I've talked about in other videos. I'm not a big fan of tote bags, but you know, here they make sense functionally as, you know, being able to pick the bag up, and they have kind of the magnetic system here to help keep the handles in place when you're not using them. And you have the big roll top kind of system here. I'll take a closer look at that in a little bit. Along the exterior, you have attachment points that pair with some of the straps that Wandrd sells as part of their ecosystem. Those are some of my favorites, and you can adjust them on the bottom, across the front, so lots of different options there. And the Prvke is now offered in a couple of different sizes. The version that I have here, and is the one that I like the most, is the 21 liter size that is able to expand to about 26, 27 liters. So it's a great daily carry bag. It's able to hold the items that I normally like to use. When you expand it out, you do have, you know, the capacity to store some extra stuff, to use it for minimal travel, but it never feels overwhelmingly large or bulky. And the harness system on this is really comfortable. Lots of padding, breathable material here. You have a sternum strap, and the back also feels quite comfortable. You have well, you know, distributed padding, lots of elevation, that same breathable material. Luggage pass through to allow you to rest this on your suitcase. They also sell a removable waist strap, particularly if you have one of the larger versions of the bag. It's great to have that extra support. I believe Wandrd also sells the rain cover separately. You have a pocket at the bottom where you can store that. And then taking a look at the organization, the layout on this is pretty simple. On the front, you have a tall zippered pocket. No internal organization here, so good for pouches or, you know, the types of items that you don't mind floating down to the bottom. I have my sunglasses in here and my charging cables with my USB-C hub. And so I still had quite a bit of leftover space here at the top. There is some volume here, but as you pack the main area out, this may start to feel a little bit tighter. And then you have a quick access pocket at the top that has a well-protected zipper and a soft lining on the inside. So I'm using this for my charging cable and my AirPods, but you know, great spot for your phone or some sunglasses. And then on the side, you have another quick access pocket. This one has a clip for your keys. So great to have kind of a dedicated spot for that. And you have access to the main area and the camera compartment from the side, which is great given that this is a camera focused bag. You have a zippered pocket on that lid. We'll take a closer look at this main area in a second, but that's one of the things that I like about this bag, is that it still gives you that ability to swing it around and grab your camera gear when you need it. And then this is a bag that is a top-loading roll top and also opens up clamshell style. So I'll talk about the roll top first. I like this system because it's pretty straightforward, doesn't feel as finicky as some of the other roll top systems that I've used. And so you have this great, robust buckle here that you can adjust. You can tighten it down, you can loosen it. And then you have Velcro that helps keep the roll top secured. So you can unroll it and look into the bag from the top, grab what you need, grab a pouch, and then you can leave it, expand it out to, again, that 26 liter size, loosen this buckle up. And so that's where this really made sense to include on the list, in my opinion, because it does have that ability. And then if you want to tighten it down, you can do so as well. Particularly if the bag's a little bit emptier, you can really roll it in, secure it, and you have a much more compact form factor. And so that flexibility is nice. And then it also provides a nice amount of weather resistance. That's one of the things that roll tops are particularly good for, is you have some of these options that really prevent water from leaking in. You don't have zippers to deal with, less seams and things like that. And then you have well-protected zipper for the clamshell compartment. And in this section, on the back, you have dedicated tablet and laptop sleeves along with some organization. So here you have a pocket that's great for something like a portable battery, other tech accessories. You have some smaller pockets here that could be used for memory cards, batteries, lenses. And I like that this tablet sleeve offers a nice amount of padding. You have a soft lining on the inside, plenty of space for a full-size tablet. I have a iPad mini which fit in there again, and then on the back here I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro. A 15-inch laptop should fit, but the 16 inchers might start to feel a little bit tighter. I think it'll still fit, but just something that you want to keep in mind. And then good padding here. I like how much this comes up. You don't have the soft lining on the laptop sleeve, which might have been nice to see. And it's not quite suspended off the bottom. Maybe you have good padding here, but not as pulled up as I typically prefer. Still though, feels like my device is protected. I can get it out when I need to, and then open this main section up. And at the moment, I just wanted to keep the same loadout that I've had for the other bags. And so I have the Peak Design packing cube here, and then the other smaller one above that. And so you have this layout here where you have the volume go all the way to the top, but you do have this divider here. I also had my dot kit in there. All of those things fit. And the layout here is flexible, and you can adjust it depending on whether you are using your camera gear or you just want to use the bag on its own. So you have this zipper here at the top that provides access to this area, and you have this section here that pops up, and then you can separate your camera cube area, or you can just use this to organize your stuff. Doesn't have to be for a camera cube. And then you have this separate segment at the top, which you can access from this flap here. And I'm a big fan of Wandrd's camera cube. Just works very nicely as far as offering a good amount of protection. You have the side axis, which you can align with this here, and then get to your device. You have plenty of protection, lots of organization. But if you don't want to use it, then you can leave that off, and you have a segmented area here. So, the bag does a great job of providing you lots of options with how to organize and the flexibility that comes with a roll top style of bag. And although, it's not going to be my preferred choice in most situations, if you're looking for something that's going to provide a lot of durability, that's going to work well for more kind of adventurous activities and keep your camera gear safe, then this is going to be an excellent option to check out. The Tortuga expandable backpack has a minimal appearance that's going to work well for all types of travel. It's solidly built with a 630D nylon exterior that's going to offer a nice amount of weather resistance, durability. You have smooth working YKK zippers, really nice hardware all throughout. And then this is going to come in at about 27 liters when it's compressed down, and then it can expand to around 32 liters. And so it's one of the more spacious expandable options. Even when it's compressed, it can really hold an impressive amount of stuff, so it can feel a little bit larger for your day-to-day. And then it expands to work as a size that you can easily store into an overhead storage compartment. So, really nice flexibility as far as the capacity. And then on the exterior, you have some really nice carrying handles, one at the top and one at the side. really well cushioned. And then you have compression straps, which is really nice, particularly when the bag isn't full. You can really tighten it down, and this will also be great for attaching additional items on the outside since you have the buckles. And then on the other side, you have an external water bottle pocket that's gonna offer a nice amount of space. It's an elastic compartment, so it can handle my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler comfortably. You have compression straps on this side as well. And Tortuga always has some of the best harnesses on the market, so really well padded straps here, plenty of breathability, they have a good width, you have load lifters at the top, an adjustable sternum strap, and you also have a well padded waist belt that's included with the bag. It's fully removable. I really like how much support this adds, particularly when you load it out, if you're gonna be wearing it for a longer time. This can be helpful, and then you can actually fully remove them, which I am a big fan of. The back panel also has great padding, lots of breathability. It's elevated to give you that extra airflow while you're walking around throughout the day. You also have a luggage pass-through that's gonna allow you to rest this on your suitcase. And the layout for this one is gonna be pretty simple. You have a couple of quick access pockets, one at the top. It's gonna offer plenty of volume for the types of items that I'm grabbing most often during my trip. So charging cables, tech items. I have my sunglasses in here, AirPods, and you also have a little lanyard with a clip. You also have a quick access pocket on the front. And here I have my charging cables, my USB-C hub, and this can be a little tighter when the main area is packed out, but I was still able to hold those items, which were a little bit bulkier. On the back, you have a dedicated laptop compartment that is suspended, and it's gonna offer a nice amount of capacity. It's lockable, and really like, the padding that's offered here. You have the soft lining on the inside, plenty of space. You can see my 14-inch MacBook Pro in here. Take that out, and on the inside, you can see a simple layout, but again, because it's suspended, it really feels like my device is gonna be well protected throughout the day. And then for the main area, you have a suitcase style opening. This one is also lockable. And then coming all the way around, you can get a look at the inside, and you have two sections. On one side, I have my packing cube setup. This is kind of the larger open space. I have the medium compressible packing cube, and I have the small packing cube. And then on the lid, you have a zippered mesh divider. And this compartment also has some volume to it. Even when the bag is compressed as it is now, I was able to store, a dop kit, packable jacket, an extra pouch, and an additional pair of shoes. So that's with the bag compressed, and I like this separate area because it just gives you a lot of variety with how you can kind of set everything up. And if I wanted to expand the bag out, I really like that the expandability is on this lid side. So this compartment becomes even larger, and so I still have the full volume for this main area here. And I was already storing quite a few items here on the lid, but with this additional space, I think I would be able to add in either an extra packing cube, larger jacket, bulkier shoes. And so, really great to see that, and the fact that because of, the silhouette, the style, this still manages to be just a, really great carry-on option. And if you're looking for a minimal travel bag that expands and is gonna prioritize comfort, then this is gonna be an excellent option to take a look at.
And so that's it. Those are some of my favorite expandable backpacks in 2025. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on the options that I talked about in the video or suggestions for similar bags that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I'll make sure to include links in the description below to the dedicated reviews that I've done for any of the bags that I mentioned in this video, as well as to some of the other roundup videos that I've done, where I've talked about some of my favorite personal item bags in 2025, my favorite one bag travel options from last year, and some of the other great minimal travel bags that I've enjoyed using over the years. And if you have ideas for other roundup videos that you'd like to see, definitely let me know about those as well. And I want to thank Unbound Merino again for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check out the links that I've included in the description below to see some of my favorites from their collection. And I want to thank you all for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.